Hi again then guys, and welcome to another straight line performance build for Forza Horizon 3, and this particular build is for a very popular choice of exotic. It's pretty much always a popular car on any racing game that it's featured on, the Viper ACR. This is a hardcore track machine which also delivers great performance on the road as well. Now, as far as the build on this particular car, it's fairly obvious what you need to do to a car to get better performance out of it as far as the upgrades go: bigger engine, more power, lower weight, etc. But as far as the rough overview, I would recommend, as always, if possible, the V12 conversion. You can get the most power out of that engine, and of course, as I would always recommend, the all-wheel drive. If you're not into all-wheel drive, of course, that's up to you, but I would recommend it. As far as the rest, obviously fit whatever improves the car. You can remove the wing if you want to, as far as speed goes, but it doesn't make a huge difference in the case of this vehicle, so it's more a case of personal preference, really. Now, as far as the tuning side of things, as you can see, as the benchmark comes up, the performance is very strong on the ACR. Top speed isn't quite as quick as something like a Ford GT, for instance, but it's more than fast enough for most racing situations. The acceleration in particular is monstrous on this car. 1.8, or close enough to 1.9 to 60, 3.8 to 100, coupled with that 268 miles per hour, and the handling that's associated with an ACR, and you're looking at pretty great performance. Now, as far as the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 3.1. Then for the individual gears, we've done similar to what we usually do, but again, a couple of changes here and there to suit it more specifically to the car. First gear of 2.9, then 1.99, 1.5, 1.17, 0.95, and 0.78. As far as alignment, as usual, very open to interpretation, the way I do things. And as far as the camber and toe, I've gone neutral, as usual. As far as caster, I've gone for 6 degrees, so a little bit stiffer than usual, but you don't have to do that. If you want it to be more stiff, more like a hardcore track car or a race car, you can take that even higher. If you want it to be a bit more tail-happy, a bit looser, then take that degree lower. Now, as far as the anti-roll, we've rounded those off to 32 and 24. The springs we've rounded off to 133 and 171 with the lowest possible ride height. As far as dampers, we've got those on 11, 13, 5 and 6. The aero you do want to put as low as possible on this car. That applies primarily if you do choose to keep the wing. And as far as the diff, again, as we often do, 100% on Axle, 0 on decel, and as far as the centre split, I would recommend, you don't have to stick to it, but I would recommend an 80% split. Having that 20% going to the front helps with grip, helps you to keep the car under control at higher speeds, it doesn't weave around as much, but at the same time having 80% going to the rear allows you to launch pretty well and also to get the tail out when you need to. So it's a mix of both. Overall, if you do want this tune, you can obviously copy this video, or if you want it just straight on the car and don't care, or alternately, if you just want to support HSG in general, you can get it from my storefront. And of course, downloads are appreciated. But if you would like to keep up with other tunes like this that we've already done, you can check out the playlist at the end of this video, or you can check out my storefront for tunes which aren't on YouTube yet, and some which probably never will be because they're not for as quick vehicles. Or if you want to see new tunes that aren't even out yet as soon as they're released, you can subscribe down below. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.